Okay, welcome back to part 2. And so what we're looking at in this section for more of our SOAPStone chart is subject and purpose. What are some of the subject clues that we have? Well, he talked about when compulsory education became mandatory in the different countries. He even talked about what has happened to our society since then and all the great adventures or the inventions that have come about. And we also know that it's 2 students who are about to return to school. We also have some clues towards the purpose, and one of them is students are about to return to school. So he wants to get you information at a particular time for a particular reason. He's also talked about the many developments since students basically have been forced to go to school. So we'll take this one at a time, starting with the subject. Now, what is the main idea of the whole video? What is he trying to say overall, putting all the pieces together? Well, if we look at it, mandatory education may not be fun, but we have all benefited from an educated society. The reason we have school, basically. So we'll put that in our chart and then move on to purpose. What does the author expect his audience to do with the information? There's one of 3 choices. This is always going to start with one of the verbs of the purposes or why people write. It's either going to be to entertain, to inform, or to persuade. Which one of those 3 do you think he's really trying to do with this piece? Let's look at some more of this.
Well, here's the thing. When you watch the Curiosity rover land, it is far more moving and exciting if you understand the physics and the math and the history behind that moment. French is useful because the French do speak English, but they pretend not to. And it's not only literature that's symbolic, all communication among people is symbolic, as is consciousness itself. And physical education is not an oxymoron because your body is not born knowing how to do this. But yes, your teachers may be stupid. So are you. So am I. So is everyone except Neil deGrasse Tyson. The whole pleasure of being a human is in being stupid, but learning to be less stupid together. But more important than all of that, you need to remember that school is not about you. School doesn't exist for your benefit or for the benefit of your parents. Schools exist for the benefit of me. The reason I pay taxes for schools, even though I don't have a kid in school, is that I am better off in a well-educated world. Public education isn't a charity project. I pay for your schools because I want you to grow up and make my life better. I want you to make me beautiful books that will bring me pleasure and consolation. I want you to make me cooler cars for me to drive and drugs so that I can live a longer, healthier life. I'm paying for your education in the hopes that you'll invent a microwave pizza with actually crispy crust and that you'll spread the availability of the internet so I can get more YouTube views in Zambia.
Okay, so looking at those 3 verbs, does he inform? Yes, he's giving some information about schools and why they're important, when they came about. But is that really what he wants you to do with that information? Likewise, does he entertain? He's got some pretty funny stuff to say, but was that his real purpose in talking to you? I don't think so. These aren't really what he wants you to do with the information. Let's look at a little bit more.
Your education isn't just about you. Your nation is making an investment in you because they believe that you are worth it. So the next time you're like half asleep in class, fantasizing about being a kid chosen for a special mission or wizard school or whatever, please remember something. You are special, and you've been chosen for a special mission that was denied to 99.9% of all humans ever. We need you. We believe in you. And we're counting on you. Best wishes, John Green.
So if you noticed in that section, he's had some phrases about, we need you to do this. I need you to do that. So what is he trying to do? Is he trying to persuade you? Oh, yes. What does he want you to do with that information? What is he persuading you to do? Well, you may not be frackin' psyched to go back to school, but he wants you to at least understand why you're having to go to school. Go to school, learn what you need to learn so that we can all be in a better place. By the way, did you catch who this is?
Your education isn't just about you. Your nation is making an investment in you because they believe that you are worth it. So the next time you're like half asleep in class, fantasizing about being a kid chosen for a special mission or wizard school or whatever, please remember something. You are special, and you've been chosen for a special mission that was denied to 99.9% of all humans ever. We need you. We believe in you. And we're counting on you. Best wishes, John Green.
John Green? John Green? Do you know who John Green is? If you said the author of The Fault in Our Stars, along with some other books, then you're right. Now, why is it important to know that? Well, he understands teenagers. And so I think that's why he gave this message. So let's go back to the form. As we've been filling it out, taking a look at the subject, notice that this is a complete sentence. Students are encouraged to go to school even though it is mandatory for the benefit of society. That's what the whole piece is about. Notice also that it's in a complete sentence, just like any other main idea should be. The occasion, say it with me now, students are about to return to school. So students are in a particular mindset at this point, and so he's going to communicate with them in a particular way. Who's the audience? It's those same students who are about ready to return to school. The purpose of this piece is to persuade students that going back to school can lead to certain benefits. And then the speaker is a young adult author and a YouTube video maker. You should look him up sometimes. He's got some really great stuff out there. We have one more left that we need to fill out. That's tone. So let's take a look at this.
Needless to say, this is not a coincidence. Take, for example, Adam Steltzner, the lead engineer on the Curiosity rover's descent and landing team. He went to a publicly funded high school before getting both his bachelor's degree and his doctorate from publicly subsidized universities. So let me ask you a question, students about to return to school. How fracking psyched are you for the end of summer? How psyched are you to have the opportunity to learn about the universe and its inhabitants for several hours a day at no cost to you? The answer, of course, is that if you're anything like I was, you're not psyched at all. I mean, A, you might be a bit of a social outcast. I know I was. I never really learned how to shave, and that's fine now, but back then when I had like the Sony My First mustache, it was just a disaster. And B, you may often feel like your studies are mind-numbing instead of mind-stimulating. Like, who wants to read The Taming of the Shrew? You basically have to translate it from Shakespeare into English, which is ridiculous because there is already an excellent filmic translation available in the form of 10 Things I Hate About You. So if you're anything like me, you're going to spend a lot of time whining that 1, none of this will ever be useful in your real life, and 2, your teachers are stupid, and 3, math is really hard and you'll never understand it, ditto physics, history is boring, French is just an endless series of je ne sais pas, literature is an impossible hunt for symbols, and physical education is an oxymoron.
All right, so he's got a lot of very interesting phrases in there. What did you hear? Well, I heard frackin'. Is that even a word? Psyched. Sony, My First Mustache. That was in an earlier clip. Physical education is an oxymoron. Actually, that's true. And then obviously, he is using a humorous and encouraging tone. Notice that these are both adjectives, so when you're describing tone, that's what you're trying to come up with, adjectives. You also should put down a couple of samples in that box, just so that you can show us where you're getting this information from. So that's it. That's our SOAPStone chart that we have used to analyze this piece. And notice that we went through that video 2 and even in some cases 3 times. So you can't just read one and then be done. You're going to have to go back through a couple of times to find this information. So what you want to do now is go to the assigned article and make a SOAPStone chart. Like I said, there's one attached if you want to print it out or fill it in, or just simply write down on a piece of paper, SOAPStone, and then fill it out. Good luck to you, and have a good day.